So yeah, this is just going to be another video, and today I'm going to be talking about what I am doing to prepare to turn 18. So currently I have just recently set up an emergency fund. This fund will allow me to invest as soon as I turn 18, because then I won't have to worry about, for instance, losing money, because I'm going to aim to get between 3 to 6 months worth of money to live off of. I've currently got, I would say, if I was having to dip into it at this point, maybe 3 to 6 months, but there's not an overly huge amount because I'm not having to spend a large amount on different things. I don't have to pay rent at this point because I'm 17, I live with my parents. The only real things I have to pay for is if I want to go out for food, for petrol, other stuff like that. If I'm just going out with any, socially, I have to pay for all of that. So that's almost, if I just had no funds at all and had to rely solely on that emergency fund, I reckon I could last it between 3 to 6 months. The next point for preparing to turn 18 is setting up, because for instance, I'm wanting to go to uni, so I'm going to be setting up a uni specific bank account where I am going to be saving a certain amount of money into that account monthly up until uni, and then it can drip feed into my regular account, which then I know how much I've got to spend at uni, how much I can spend, how much I can't spend, and then once I've run out of that money, I don't have any more, so I can almost manage my money and finances properly whilst at uni and not having to dip into other funds. For instance, also, I believe every 17, 18-year-old, anyone really, needs to understand how to invest. This is what I'm currently doing. I'm trying to understand the best ways to invest, like looking at all sorts of different stuff. I'm probably just going to stick either my money into an S&P 500 or a FTSE 100, something along the lines of that, which gets an 8% annual return. And if I'm doing this from a very young age, then, well, it's a class thing to do. I'd say another thing for people my age to do and turning 18-year-olds is look at something that you want to do and something you very much enjoy and try and make money off of it. Like I'd say I very much enjoy YouTube, I very much enjoy sport, I very much enjoy finance and how I can maximize the amount of money I make. And I'm trying many different things to then make sure that I'll be able to use my knowledge and then leverage it in a way which I can also make money from. To be honest, at this age, between 16 to 22, you're going to have the least amount of liquid assets and money. So I would say just try as many new things as you can, see what sticks, see what doesn't. Take as much risks as you like, because realistically you've got a hell of a long life ahead of you to then build up the funds afterwards. So I'm just going to probably over the summer create enough money to have money for uni, but then also risk a reasonable amount of money because I can earn it back in a number of years. So I'll, at this point, higher risk to reward, so I'm going to be risking a lot more for a so-called higher financial reward. There's the word, Jesus Christ. Yeah, and you have the least amount of money to lose at this age. Then, as soon as you turn 18, you can get a credit card. That's one of the first things I'm going to do, because then I can build a credit score. And if I'm wanting to take out a loan to then invest in something that I'm passionate about, then it'll be at a lower interest rate of a loan from the bank if you've got a higher credit score, which can come from just doing small things with a credit card. For instance, sticking on your Spotify, any music platform subscriptions, any gym memberships, rolling over subscriptions, which will take a specific amount out of your account each month, which then you can pay off because you know you have that fund in your account. I'm going to be also tracking my personal spending in not using spreadsheets and stuff like that, but just limiting the amount of money I have within my account, which has worked for me in the past. This then means that I know, oh, I've got this amount of money for this amount of time. I'm not going to spend it all at once. I'm going to try and almost last it as long as I can. I'd say also 18, 17-year-old, anyone who's reasonably young, a percentage of your wage should go into creating either the emergency fund or just as soon as it's getting put into your account, just put it somewhere else which you can't access. Like my emergency fund, which I listed earlier, I've got it in the form of premium bonds, which then means it's not in my account, and I can win up to £1 million, from 25 to £1 million in rewards, which, wow, that's pretty cool. But it's a way of having an amount of money away from my bank account which I can't access really, really easily. So then I have to have a reasonably long process to get it into my bank account. So it's pretty safe there, and it's a government-backed one with NS&I. Yeah, so with my personal finance, this is just going to be my spending money, not investing money. This will just, I'll put a certain amount. I've set up a new bank account in the form of Monzo, which I'm going to be putting a certain amount in each month, which is my spending money if I'm wanting to go out, if I'm wanting to buy new clothes, if I'm wanting to do whatever. But that is my money for the month. It's a way of saving reasonably easily, and it will just teach you to tighten up your belt a bit sometimes. I'm going to also be setting up an investment account, which then will enable me when I turn 18 in July to then invest, because realistically I'm not going to be trying to time the market. I'm just going to be investing for the long run. I'm also going to be setting up a lifetime ISA, but I realise that there's no point really putting any money into a lifetime ISA for the first year, because you don't get any of the 25% interest or top up from the government in the first year. So in the second year I'll put a lot more into that. Yeah, and then so you, at this age, 17, 18, whatever, up to 20, let's say, you shouldn't have any high interest debt. If you've got high interest debt, get rid of that, and then set up the emergency fund, followed by an investing account, which then means at this point those three things will help you grow your wealth in the end. It's not going to be a short game, it's going to be a marathon, not a sprint. Realistically, years and years and years of compounding this money, that'll be when you see the results. Like between the 20 and 30 year gap, that is a massive chunk of money which you can earn. Like if I'm going to be 38 in 20 years, let's say, and I'll have a reasonably small pot, but just keep it in there for another 10 years. You're not going to be retiring at this point. You'll have a lot more money. I'm going to say next point would be look at the best investing platforms for you. Some platforms may be better for others, and for instance, the other way around. Just look for the best platform for you. And then finally, I'd say set up a PayPal account. This is just a way of then you being able to stick money into certain accounts for you to invest and do other stuff with. Cheers guys, and that's the video for today.